Hey everyone, this is IronCobra and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be reviewing our thick new limited operator Skadi the Corrupting Heart, which I'll refer to as Skadi Alter or Skalter for the rest of the video. She's not just a regular supporter, and if you want to know what all the hype is about, as well as how to make the most out of her, watch until the end. Closed captions are enabled, and let's get right into it. For general information, Skalter's artist is Alchemaniac, same artist as regular Skadi, Grani, and Best Girl Arketo, and her voice actress is Rina Sato, who voices Mikoto Mikasa in a certain magical index. She's the first operator in Arknights to have a live 2D art. As a 6-star idol supporter, Skalter's base stats are just bigger numbers compared to Sora. Their traits are the same, giving a regeneration effect to all operators in range at a rate of 10% of their attack in HP per second. This regeneration effect can bypass cannot be healed restrictions like Mudrock, Helliger, and Sage NPCs like M8 6 shield guards. Talent 1 allows Skalter to summon a Seaborn on the battlefield. E1 for 15 seconds and E2 for 25 seconds. The Seaborn's 3x3 range is treated as an extension of Skalter's range and can give off both Skalter's trait effects and skill effects, excluding the self HP drain on her skill 3. The Seaborn is very versatile, and like Shamar's doll, it can be placed on both ground and range tiles, doesn't take up a deploy slot, and won't be attacked by enemies. The Seaborn's redeploy time is 30 seconds and can be timed with her skill effects. It can also deploy next to machines, like Williamon gramophones and Undertide's lights. Talent 2 says if any operator is within Skalter's range, including the Seaborn, her attack is raised, and is further raised if said ally is an Abyssal Hunter. Note that summons do not activate this talent. At max level with this talent, Skalter's attack is 443 and 525 with Abyssal Hunters. Skill 1. Chant of Returning by Varied Paths. Upon skill activation, Skalter immediately gets a full heal, a max HP buff, and a large trait buff. When allies within range are damaged during skill duration, the damage is split 50-50 between said ally and Skalter. The skill doesn't seem to be as good as skill 2 or skill 3, but definitely has its own uses. Its first immediate downside is its long skill cooldown. However, even at E0 it has its uses. For new players, being able to greatly increase survivability against early game bosses such as Big Bob or Skull Shatterer from chapter 2 or 3. Late game is just an extra source of tanking. If you keep Skalter alive, all damage taken is reduced 50% in her range, and that's amazing and can greatly help against JT83 or H84 Tallulah fireballs, with the help of her Seaborn, and maybe a Nightingale. With the Seaborn as a range extension, she can save a few allies on the battlefield on the entire other side of the map, tanking for them. Another note is that this skill has its own weird usages, and can be used to tank damage for non-operators, as well as help low defense operators tank shots from Ox skill 2 and skill 3, just like Shining. It can even tank for some non-healable objects, like Code of Brawl terminals, but cannot help against Surtur skill 3 self HP drain, unfortunately. However, do remember this skill has its limits. The skill does not reduce damage, only spreads it out. Skalter does have a max HP, and if she's getting hit herself, her skill 1 is only going to increase the burden on her, so watch out for your timings. Do I recommend Skill Mastery 3? Not really. For most players, skill level 7 is already enough, and the SP cost makes the skill niche anyways. Unless you love Skadi and are willing to M9, I'd say this is one of your lower priorities. Skill 2. Wish of Burial Beyond the Light. Upon skill activation, all allies within Skalter's range will receive a certain percent of Skalter's attack and defense as additive buffs, and last for the rest of the battle, also known as infinite duration. This is considered an Inspire buff, so it does not stack with Sora, unfortunately. The buff is additive, meaning operators with lower stats will benefit from it most. A defender gaining plus 200 defense is nice, but isn't that substantial when compared to a sniper getting plus 200 defense, which can basically save it from a lot of ranged damage. and can double or triple their defense. The order in which buffs are calculated are first additive, then multiplicative, meaning you can first buff with Sculptor and then Ak and then other stuff. This does have the downside of defense buffs, so you can't use Silver Ash skill 3 and then buff it back to normal with Sculptor. This is Sculptor's 2-gov skill and can even be paired with healers to drastically increase their healing amount passively. Her main usage should be used to raise both DPS and survivability of ranged operators, and can also be especially helpful to fast-firing, lower attack, and lower defense units like anti-air snipers. However, any buffs will be appreciated and can increase the capability of lane holders such as Mudrock, Blaze, Mountain, etc. However, just like always, every skill comes with its own weaknesses. The main 3 weaknesses here are first, that this is a DPS buff skill, despite being a supporter. Sculptor being attacked herself is a no-no, and unlike S1, she cannot perform damage control. Second, the time for this skill might not come up fast enough. It is one of those wait and then last for the rest of the match. And she doesn't really do anything by herself, just a kind of passive heal, 8 DP. Not the best until the skill's up. And third, it has to do with her positioning. Only some stages offer optimal positions to place Sculptor where she won't be attacked and can still offer the maximum buffs. Although she can offset this somewhat with her Seaborn, it's still not full uptime, and you should be careful how you use her. She's a supporter, not a press and win DPS like Surtur. For masteries, I'd say this is certainly the better option for Sculptor, just better overall buffs as long as you like to use her. In honesty, Sculptor's masteries don't give as much returns as DPS masteries, and skill level 7 is fine for most. Mastery or DPS first. Skill 3, the Tide Surges, the Tide Recedes. Upon skill activation, Sculptor loses 5% HP until the skill ends, but does true damage to all enemies in range, as well as greatly buffs the attack of allies within range. The skill lasts 20 seconds, so without external healing, Sculptor will die. Although not as consistent as skill 2, this skill has its own very powerful uses as well, especially in high-end CC. Its first advantage is its cheap first use SP cost, allowing for quick buffs from lower level vanguards to take care of dog rushes or something at the beginning of the stage. The damage from the skill isn't too much, but when combined with the Seaborn, it can deal some pretty nice additional damage, and I'm certainly not complaining. With max level and Abyssal Hunters nearby, Sculptor's Skill 3 Mastery 3 can offer more than a 500 attack boost to all units in range. A good synergy with Sculptor's Skill 3 is Suzerain's Skill 3, allowing for constant healing to prevent Sculptor from dying, and it's just another addition to the buff army that Sculptor will eventually be inevitably joining. When skills are down, Suzerain's talent allows for faster SP recovery. Some shenanigans you can do with Sculptor Skill 3 is to buff Sculptor herself with other operators, then use the Skill 3 to spread a buffed buff to all units in Sculptor's range. For masteries, I'd say it's an option you would want to consider just if you're messing with strong buffs or just really like Skadi or the buff army team. Everything in the end is up to you. Overall in gameplay, Skadi's Skill 3 is very versatile and can fit many needs as long as you position stuff correctly and you really like buff armies. He's also amazing art-wise with such a beautiful live 2D art. That concludes this guide on the usage of Skadi the Corrupting Heart, and I hope you got everything you needed. If you enjoyed, hit that like and subscribe button. Your support keeps me going and is greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.